Hey everyone, Phi Farley here, looking to get a weekday best bet in. We got about 7 games to pick from NCAA football and NFL. Well, you got one featured game in the NFL, New England hosting the Giants there. I got a quick take on that, but I'll get to that in 1 second. I'm going to pick out a college game, though, for the best bet of the week. Sorry for looking down right now. You can see I'm not in my normal video recording arena, so you'll have to excuse that. Coming off a great weekend. Coming off 3-1 again in the NFL. That's 4 straight winning weeks in the NFL. 5-2 in the baseball playoffs. Keep in mind, last year, profitable through the baseball playoffs, had a winning playoff run. Last year, NFL season, profitable through the whole season and the playoffs, profitable through that. So, you know, there's a lot of to go off of as far as data goes for you, the listener, to chime in, tune into. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my picks as soon as they come out. I'm going to have a weekday best bet here, and then 2 videos that come out for a college best bet for the weekend and an NFL best bet for the weekend. Last week, those went 2-0. Great winners. I mean, if you go back and watch those videos, you're looking at, we talked about Pitt and Duke, and Pitt getting the outright win as a +5 underdog. Nailed it. Ended up winning that game by 3. Now we go to New England New England on the road at the Redskins. Inferior Redskins. Almost picked that score to a T. I said, what did I say, 31-7. Ended up being 33-7. You'll have to excuse me. But I'll take that win at the under 43. Some of it dropped down to under 42 even. And I said take it there, even if it goes down that low. Great win. Similar spot, but a little different come this Thursday. So I want to brace you for a little bit of a different outcome potentially as far as Thursday goes. Shouldn't stop you from betting. I'll get into that in 1 second. But I want to get a weekday best bet because there's some value you get in college football typically with these games. You can get inflated lines when it comes to the total, as well as inflated lines when it comes to the favorite. So there's some we can capitalize on. For those of you over on patreon.com/Phi Farley and follow all of my picks, you've gotten some winners here during the weekday because I do like to key in on Friday and Thursday night games. So I thought I'd put out a video for an additional play here for YouTube. If you're not over on patreon.com/Phi Farley, please go over there and check that out. And again, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. All right. You can follow me on Twitter, by the way, as well. @Phi Farley is the handle. Okay. So we're going to go. There's a couple interesting games here. We got a couple top 25 teams. Oregon's going to be featured. Virginia's going to be featured on Friday night. Interesting early top 25 team. Syracuse quickly dropped out. We find out what they are, which is not a top 25 team. They're going to NC State, which has kind of been a hollow egg there. They've won 3 games against inferior opponents. Now they're going to get a decent matchup here with Syracuse. The game I want to go to, though, is going to be out of Texas. Let me get to it real quick. So we're going to San Marcos, Texas. Texas State and Louisiana Monroe, 2 Sun Belt foes going at it. This is an interesting spot here because if you look at, Louisiana Monroe is known for losing by or giving up 72 points to Iowa State, right? When you think of Monroe this year, you think of that bomb of a game they had against Iowa State. What's unfortunate is you skip over the week before when they played Florida State and took them to overtime and lost by 1. So this team is actually pretty good, and they got a good passing game that has led them to stay in these games. They've faced 1 conference game in the Sun Belt, which was South Alabama. South Alabama is not good. They won 30-17 in that game. Meanwhile, Texas State thrives on their defense. Monroe thrives on their offense. Texas State thrives on their defense, winning turnover battles in most every one of their games, which is really interesting. Even against SMU, they won the turnover battle, losing 47-17 eventually in that game. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the Georgia State game, 37-34, went to triple overtime. It was actually 27-27 as they went into overtime, putting their total at 54. You can see where I'm going with this pick. They played Nichols recently, who's actually a very good FCS school, winning 24-3. Nichols just beat Central Arkansas, which was one of the picks in FCS to go on to the playoffs and make a run for the national championship. So keep that in mind. Nichols just stuck it to him. Texas State, with their defense, was able to thump Nichols 24-3. Now, in this Sun Belt matchup, what I'm looking for here is what they do traditionally, and once they play common opponents, once they play divisional opponents, what's going to begin to happen. I think what we're going to see is a little more defense, a little more even back and forth, a little more equal play instead of this Florida State, Monroe, lopsided, crazy score of 45-44, or Iowa State lopsided 72-20. Even Memphis, as Monroe played them 52-33. I think we're going to have a much more even game. We're going to have more defense featured, and I think field territory management is going to be important in this one. So we have I think an inflated line by a whole touchdown, if not 8 points, as it opened at 62. It's been bet down to 60. I still think the under is the way to go here, and I think we're getting a touchdown of buffer. Now, who knows, especially with Texas State and their defense, a pick six can happen at any time, and now you have covering that line. But I still think this game is going to end around 54, 53, 52. So I think we got a 28-24 game here, maybe even Monroe winning by a little more, 28-20. I think Monroe's passing game and their offense is superior to Texas State's offensive production, and I think Monroe's defense can stop Texas State enough to where they can walk away with this victory. Now, that said, if I'm going to put my money on it, I'm going with the under 60 in this one. We got Monroe, we got Texas State, divisional rivals, divisional foes here. So I'm going to go, they're not rivals, but they are foes. So I'm going to go with the under 60 Bobcats Warhawks, and that's my weekday best bet to you. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/Phi Farley, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my other picks, follow me on Twitter. Good luck, everyone, this week. We'll see you again soon.